So you want to start automating your business and your tech stack and your processes, but you're not really sure where to start. It's an overwhelming question. Where do I start automating? What tasks? And what I normally find is that people start going to those tasks or those processes or those workflows that take the most time. And it's a natural progression to start thinking that way. However, what I would really recommend people do is actually start on the flip side of that. Start focusing on those easy, small automations that don't affect entire workflows. And now you're probably thinking, well, why would I start with the small tasks and chipping away 5-10 minutes versus chipping away hours at a time? If you're new to automation and you haven't built automations before, you haven't managed or maintained automations, automation's great. It's a natural part of the progression process. What I really recommend to businesses is start looking at those areas where you do repetitive processes. Maybe it's entering the same data twice or 3 times or more, or it's moving data between apps, or it's setting up projects or templates in your workflow management system. Those easy tasks that you don't think about automating because they're not necessarily painful, but they're repetitive, start there. Those are going to be A, the easier ones to identify, B, they're going to have less outliers in terms of the process, right? And then lastly, they're easier to maintain and manage. And so I usually recommend you start there, because after you have enough of those small ones that continuously chip away at 10, 20, 30-minute projects or tasks, that's where you begin to create evolution and scale with your automations. Now, next step to that is, okay, we've identified the places I want to automate. I want to automate setting up a client or business in my CRM, or automate scheduling process, or creating tasks. Once you've identified the where, now it becomes the actual what. What I always recommend people start with is actually document your workflows in a process mapping. Now, we do that for all the customers that we work with, but I would recommend a tool such as Miro. Just start mapping and visualizing your workflow and account for things like, what falls out of this? Are there certain areas or certain reasons as to why a process would not follow the same logic every time? It could be what services they signed up for. It could be the location of the business that you're working with. It could be a numerous amount of things. But identify some of those outliers. What you're doing at its core is not just documenting your workflows, but you're basically building the roadmap for your automation. What you can do from here, if you're going to build it and develop it yourself, is actually take that mapping, and that gives you the exact framework for how you can build it yourself in a tool like Zapier or Make, or what we use is Prismatic. If you have questions as you're kind of going down this process and trying to identify where you should automate or what tasks, let us know. Happy to do that process mapping with you. We do that for free for all of our customers and help you identify those first places where you can start streamlining and building efficiency. Thanks for watching. Click the subscribe button below. If you have any questions or comments, leave a comment below too.